All right, we're back, everybody, talking about the East Bank development. Planned, proposed, not final yet, but all of the different levels that go into something so large that impacts so many people. It's fascinating, but our guests tonight from Stand Up Nashville are helping to kind of guide us through this process. And again, we forget a lot when there is a new development like this. And I don't mean to put down all the people involved, real estate agents and developers and construction companies. They want to make a profit. You know, they're out to grow their businesses and make a profit. And I'm not going to get into the morals and ethics of all of this, but to be able to, you know, put the brakes on something and say, wait a minute, let's really step back and think about this and the impact something like this will have. Before we get to our callers, a couple more on hold, thank you. We talked about Atlanta, Houston, and kind of experiences that we can learn from, but what about best practices? I know there's a lot of growing cities out there, and some have some really innovative, progressive ideas as far as how to deal with a development like this.
Well, you know, a lot of the places that we might refer to as having best practices are places where they don't have to worry about the state government interfering in the way the city does its business like we do here in Nashville. You know, unfortunately, we've got a governor and a state legislature that don't hesitate, as much as they like to talk about small government, they don't hesitate to intervene when local government tries to govern itself. But, you know, that being said, and getting off that soapbox, you know, I think any situation that, you know, where a government is able to prioritize community input and prioritize the rights of the people that live in a community to, you know, to work in a job that pays well, that provides good benefits, that provides representation, any policy like that is going to be a good policy for working people no matter what city you're in.
All right, sorry, I got to get back to what you said though, because yeah, there have been some questionable, controversial moves by the state legislature, you know, supermajority Republicans regarding certain measures in Nashville, the district attorney's office and school boards, and, you know, it was kind of pandemic related. Is there concern that could bleed over into projects like this? And a lot of people will give the governor and the Economic Development Commissioner, Rolf, a lot of credit for bringing businesses in. I know that there's two sides to everything, and our caller was saying we give away too much, and that's always an issue to clearly debate. Mm-hmm. Is that a concern just because of what we've seen?
There's a long track record of the state government interfering in the affairs of Metro. It goes well beyond Governor Lee. It goes beyond even Governor Haslam before him. But, you know, for example, in 2015, the voters of Davidson County voted to put a thing into an amendment to our charter saying that when we spent taxpayer dollars on construction projects here in the city, I'm talking about Metro dollars, that, you know, a certain percentage of the workforce hired be from Davidson County, that those tax dollars stay local, and the state preempted it. You know, that was 2015. That was before Governor Lee was in office. You know, whether the city of Memphis used to have a living wage ordinance. Nashville used to have a non-discrimination ordinance regarding not discriminating against people based on their sexuality. All those things have gotten wiped out.
Gotcha. All right, let's move to another phone call. Let's hit the right button. Carl, welcome. How are you? Go ahead, Carl.
Hello.
Yeah, hi. What's on your mind?
I think our politicians, our local politicians, do not represent the people.
Okay.
So if they did, we wouldn't have these problems, not these high price, high rent. If it was a farm community, everybody here was farmers. How can you build an apartment complex if you representing the farmers? If you take away the land and develop into other things, you're not representing the people there. You represent people coming in from the outside, outsourced, coming in, changing it. They keep on, we want low rent.
Right.
We've been asking for affordable rent for years, and it never happened. All these politicians, you talk the talk, but it don't happen. It happens, everything they say, it's not true. It's like they're taking bribes from outside, the way it seems.
All right. Thank you. Let's listen into what these guys have to say. I will say that, we're not saying, the people who are moving here, we're a welcoming city. We love it. It's becoming more diverse, young, old, wherever. Those who have better jobs and can afford these high-priced apartments. Now, they are paying taxes, increasing the tax base. People think, why is this happening? We get federal dollars, we get state dollars, we get local. Why don't we have the funds and the initiative to take care of this?
Well, I would say
frustrating.
It is definitely frustrating.
I don't need to tell you.
I was going to speak on it, but go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say to Mr. Carl that, another thing that the state government took out of Metro's hands was an ordinance passed a few years ago to mandate inclusionary zoning that made sure that anytime you rezoned an area that you included affordable housing that people could afford. And so it's just another example of things that have been taken away.
Go ahead.
And like I said, it's great that we're on here and we hear callers call in to actually give their own personal feedback. That is what's going on in the city, and the government they're not taking these people calls.
Right. All right. I want to get to, we have a couple more calls. Hold on there. This is the results of all these surveys, right? This is fascinating. And this is, participants found that they want to see opportunities for local business owners, more affordable housing, quality jobs, and greater community engagement, which we talked about. At least 89% of residents surveyed said they don't support using public dollars to fund a new Titan Stadium. 84% of residents said, again, that affordable housing should be a priority. And again, there's talk about fixed income. You share the results with Metro officials. What do you hear from them about all of this input so far? Because this is recent.
Yes, it's recent, and we haven't heard anything. Just being honest. And that came from Nashvillians, people who actually been here for more than 5 to 10 years. So we haven't heard anything.
People who, by the way, took time to, however they learned of the public input meetings, took time to go, listen, take part. We've done these stories the past year or so about these meetings. Are you pleased with the number of people, Nashvillians, who have taken part?
I'm gonna take that one, Dave.
Okay.
No.
You want more? You'd like more?
I would love to have more, because, like I said, behind the scenes, it's a lot of work that Stand Up Nashville and our coalition do to actually implement these CBA agreements, and the people in the city don't know what's actually going on. If we need to be the voice for you all, we need you all to actually come and give us your voice so we can speak for you all. It is so much that's still going on behind the scenes and behind closed doors. It's deals that's being made that the people in the city of Nashville don't even know about. Just like we talked about this Titan Stadium earlier.
Right.
That's $2 billion that's going to have to come out of our pockets.
The Juvenile Justice Center, which they may have floated a trial balloon recently saying, we have so many problems with this facility and the floods and the security, and we really ought to start thinking about a new location. To think that wasn't related at all,
Come on, man.
I think maybe they see the writing on the wall, and hey, this is a chance to, of course, we do want to have the best facility possible. But anyway, all right, I got to get to another call because we got like 2 minutes before this next break. Let's go to Ben. Hi, Ben. Ben, you there?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Hey, guys. So I'm new to Nashville, and I've only lived here really a couple years now, and it's already changed, immensely. You see high rises go up left and right.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, you see these sometimes rickety things out there, and you wonder if these workers are even safe on these sites, because I'm currently trying to get my personal trainer license and do things like that. And I know if somebody gets hurt on my watch, that could be my ass, and I could, sorry for cursing, but could go to jail possibly,
How long have you been here?
Only a couple years now.
Okay. Where'd you come from, may I ask?
I've come from all over the South.
Okay.
I've lived outside Atlanta. I have lived in Virginia. I have lived in Alabama.
Yeah. All right, let's listen in.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, what I'd say to that, it is curious. You know, there's so many professions out there where, you know, if somebody gets hurt on the job, you know, while you're doing your job, you're at incredible risk of lawsuit or even criminal penalties. You know, the truth is, here in Nashville in the last 5 years, at least 20 workers have died on construction projects here in Nashville. And to us, that's unacceptable. And yet those contractors that employed those workers who died, including a 16-year-old boy, it's worth noting.
Yeah, the hotel.
That's
Yes,
right,
sir.
the
Yes, sir.
La Quinta by the Titans
Right.
Stadium.
Yes, sir.
You know, those contractors are still operating here in Nashville, and if not, you know, some of them have managed to suffer some civil penalties. Nobody's gone to jail for those deaths, and I think that's a shame.
Yeah, again, growing pains indeed. All right, we have to hit this final break like right at a certain time. I think there was one caller we didn't get to. We'll take this call during the break just to make sure we hear from them. We'll wrap things up right after this.